Gregory Keene is here to resume with another chapter of Deadly Nightshade.
It's just after 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're heading back to a small landing in Pittwater, not far from Church Point. Cutts, myself, and a third man. The third man is Nicholas Barnes. You know, the chap Huberman's had charging about, calling himself Gregory Keene. It wasn't too difficult getting our hands on the fellow. Evelyn Channel arranged matters so that he walked out of her flat and straight into our hands not 10 minutes ago in Fennell Street. So it won't be long now.
So you're Gregory Keene. You meet at last.
I hope it doesn't cramp your style too much, old chap. Bend your head forward.
What are you doing?
Come on, more yet. You're getting a muffler over your eyes. You'd just as soon we didn't see where we're taking you. There we are. That ought to do it.
Look, Keene, how did you happen to be waiting for me in Fennell Street?
Cutts tried to sell Evelyn Channel a vacuum cleaner this afternoon. She told us you'd be at the Poinsettia Club tonight, and she'd do her best to get you up to her flat. When we arrived outside, we made her a signal, and she kicked you out. It was perfectly simple.
So you can communicate with her now.
That's right. Look, Barnes, you'd better make up your mind to it. I have a score to settle. Suppose we put you through the ringer till we hear everything you can tell us about Felix Huberman and Carlotta Magnani and the Nightshade ring. What could we do with you then?
I'm trying to tell you, I didn't know what I was in for when I took this thing on.
But you do now. What can we do with you when you've served your purpose, Barnes?
You wouldn't just butcher a chap.
Only if we had to. Quite a problem, isn't it, Cutts?
Yes, sir.
That's what I meant when I said you'd had it, old chap. We can cut your throat and tip you into the harbor. Or we can let you go back to Felix with a note on your pinny saying we don't need you anymore.
Oh, you wouldn't do that. Listen, Keene, if they thought I'd talk to you, if they even know about this, my life won't be worth a nickel.
Uh-huh. What was in it for you, Barnes?
Oh, 500 quid?
Well, you'd better start counting. We'd better decide what it's worth to stay alive, because there's just one way out for you. If you'd care to take it, of course. Don't let me push you into anything.
I'm glad someone thinks this is funny. Listen, where we're going, would there be any chance of a drink?
Why not? I expect we're going to a party with you as the guest of honor. We'd better speed it up a bit, Cutts. We're overdue, and I don't want Sherry hanging about the point.
Look at these figures, Felix. The ring is paying better than even I expected it to. For the month, £33,600. At this rate, nearly £400,000 a year, and we have barely scratched the surface.
And nothing between us and a tight grip on the city of Sydney but one man.
I am merely quoting these figures to impress it on you. This fellow with the vacuum cleaner who is in Evelyn's flat. I cannot imagine why Guzik did not see him leave the building.
I've told you. You can only assume that he peddled his cleaner and left the flats without it. Guzik was watching for the man with the cleaner, the devil of a chap. I talked to Channel myself.
But you are still no nearer running Gregory Keene to earth.
No? Come and have a look at this map. Now then. Here is Shea Ridge Newport Boathouse. This is the area my fellows in the fishing boat have been patrolling. They've seen a speedboat with a girl and 2 men in it.
2 men?
Yes, 2 men. They've seen it 5 times in the last 48 hours. First time, here, I'd marked the area, that's the direction it was going. Less than an hour later, they saw the speedboat with only the girl in it returning. There, second arrow.
At least there's something. They are heading somewhere upstream from where they passed the fishing boat.
I can do better than that. Last night, I ordered the men upstream about 7 miles to here. They cast about. We had some luck. The speedboat went by some distance away. They couldn't see who was in it, but we're assuming it was the same boat. There aren't many fast cruisers running up and down the Hawkesbury in the early hours of the morning.
All right. Get on with it.
The point is, last night the speedboat was heading up the river. Not long after, it returned downstream again.
I cannot see the significance.
Well, isn't it obvious? They're using a different landing each night. Their hideout is somewhere between here, where they were first seen on Pittwater, and here, where the boat passed our men twice going in the opposite directions.
How far between the 2 points?
7 miles.
That is still a lot of river. And they could be in a house on either bank.
Wait a minute. Today, the fishing boat made a slow cast up both sides of the river, here and here. They marked every landing. There aren't many on either side. Before very long, Carlotta, we're going to pin down their home landing. Then we'll have them like rats in a trap.
We'd better. 10 days from now, we're getting our second large consignment of narcotics from Hong Kong. And before then, I want Keene disposed of, Nick Barnes out of the country, and our machinery running like a Swiss watch. Where is Barnes tonight?
He left the Poinsettia Club with Eve, and I expect to be back to my place sometime before morning.
You are sure she still has no suspicions about him?
I've told you 100 times definitely no.
And your friend, Inspector Murray of the police? What progress is he making to catch his murderer, Sammy Rice?
None. He's getting his knuckles wrapped, I believe.
So, we are still ahead on points. Dobie is gone. The police cannot find Keene either. Barnes is playing his part with authority. We did not get rid of Evelyn Channel yet. There is only one outstanding account. The girl, Stella Wilson.
Well, since we're closer to Keene than anyone, can't we ignore her once Keene's dead? What can she do?
I would prefer her out of the way. We cannot be too safe.
We needn't give her any priority. When we find her, all well and good. We'll leave it to Mike Busick.
You've done well with your fishing boat on the Hawkesbury, Felix. Tonight I am fond of you.
Perhaps it's because Nick Barnes is looking after Evelyn.
I am always prepared to admit I have been wrong about Evelyn. How handsome you are at times, Felix. Go to the cabinet and mix us some brandy and Benedictine. I have a new record of La Campanella, the Campanella of Michel Levitsky. Would you like to hear it? Levitsky plays almost as well as I do.
Car locked up, Cuts?
Yes, sir.
Right. Start up, Sherry, and let's get away from here.
What about him?
I'll look after him. You're in a speedboat, Barnes. If you feel like going over the side, your feet are tied to the anchor and you'll go straight to the bottom and stay there.
I never felt less like swimming. How much longer does this thing stay over my eyes?
Oh, bear up, old chap. About 10 minutes.
Did you have any trouble, Keene?
No. What about you? Any more calls from Evelyn Channel?
Not tonight.
We're making up ground. But we have to be darn careful to cover Evelyn in this thing. That's the big risk we're taking. What's that light up ahead?
Oh, I'd say another of those fishing boats.
That's odd. There always seems to be at least one on the river when we're coming or going.
At this time of the year, you always see them, Keene.
What are they?
They're poachers. They take prawns and so forth out of season.
I must say they're pretty open about it. That light hanging over the side on a pole. I'm hanged if I know.
What is it?
Nothing, just thinking. Might be a good idea to give them a wide berth just the same. We can't be too sure.
That's the lot. Blinds down, doors locked, everything.
All right, Cuts. Take that blindfold off him and let him see where he is.
And about time.
We've treated you with kid gloves so far, Barnes. Now we're coming to it. You're miles from anywhere. The nearest house is well out of earshot if you could yell louder than a fire siren. So what do you say we get down to business?
In the car, you said there was just one way out. You don't have to pound anything in because I'll take it.
But first, there are so many questions. Start at the beginning.
Name it.
How do you come to be able to pass as me?
The time you spent in Felix Huberman's house, every word you said went on a wire recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Huberman briefed me on your background. We took your papers, substituted my photographs for yours, and forged the stamps on them. It was quite easy. I'd only one person to fool, Evelyn Channel.
And when she finally caught on, why didn't she go straight to the police?
Oh, she didn't know where she or you or anyone else stood. She didn't know they'd made you Sammy Rice. She's in love with Felix Huberman, so she waited to hear from Milo Fentress in London.
They're telling the truth so far.
You said something about a drink.
It'll keep. After they got me out of the way, how long were you supposed to go on with the impersonation?
No time at all.
What, you were just going to stop being Gregory Keene and suddenly become Nick Barnes again?
In Singapore.
How?
I don't know yet. Huberman has something lined up, but I don't know what it is.
All right, fellow. Now let's press on to something you do know about. What is the NightShade ring? I must know, and I'm going to, and your life depends on it. What is this deadly NightShade?
It is nearly 3 o'clock, Felix, and tomorrow I must look my best.
When don't you, Carlotta? Why tomorrow?
There is a diplomatic reception at 66 Gifford Avenue.
Oh, yes, of course. You must definitely be at your best there, my dear. How amusing. Can you imagine the horror of the diplomatic corps if they knew one or two basic facts about Madame Magnolia? Yes? Yes. What time? A girl and 3 men, eh? Well done.
Who is bringing you here at this hour?
The skipper of my fishing boat on the Pittwater Patrol. The speedboat passed them twice tonight, coming from a landing near Church Point. And that Carlotta almost pins them down. We know to within a mile now just what becomes of Gregory Key.
It's worked before with Alexis. Now it's working with Nicky Barnes. Threatened to expose their failures to the Nightshade ring, and they can't talk hard enough. While I stand here listening to this terrified imposter, the curtains that have hidden the deadly Nightshade are slowly being drawn aside. And I don't like what I'm beginning to see.
How soon does Huberman arrive at the Riverside house? Listen for the next chapter in this story of intrigue, Deadly Nightshade.